Hey, the number's 877-41-VALUE. You can call us anytime, day or night, 24/7. If we don't pick up, someone in the office will. And if they're not there either, you're going to get a voicemail machine, leave a message, and we'll call you back and figure out how to get you on the show.
Do people really call at 3 o'clock in the morning?
We've gotten some calls at bizarre times. The little timestamp says, really, what is this person doing? But we get calls from all over the world. So it could be, like a normal afternoon. Some guy calling from the North Sea on an oil platform.
I just want to know, what's the strangest message we've ever gotten?
Somebody called and said, hey, I got a Twinkie. You know how much it's worth? And he was kidding, and then he went on to the regular message. But we still have that. We should play that. It was one of our callers from a long time ago. So, because that was when the Twinkies were going to disappear. Remember, we're going to take Twinkies off the market, bring them back. He was very worried about his Twinkie inventory. So that's it. Probably the weirdest one we've ever had.
Well, let's go to
good.
call now. And
That's good.
I hope it's not the weirdest
I'm
one
sure
we've
it's
ever
not going to
had.
be. I'm sure it's not going to
Okay.
be.
You're on Value This with Brian and Leon. Who's this?
This is Sharon from Wichita Falls, Texas.
Wichita Falls, Texas. Tell us what's going on in Wichita Falls, and how do you hear us there, Sharon?
Well, I hear you on the radio out of Lawton, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. KCCU radio, is that right?
That is right.
There you go. Great station, great folks over there. We love them all, and they have some great programming. I don't know how we got on there.
Sharon, I've got at Wichita Falls. Are there falls there in your town?
Well, actually, there are some man-made falls. We actually had somebody come and make some man-made falls, and Willard Scott actually came and dedicated the falls back in 1980-something.
No kidding.
Wow.
So someone named the town, and then someone went, hey, wait a minute. We don't have any water. We got to quick get somebody in here. Is that what happened?
Well, kind of, yes.
That's like Kansas City, where I went to Kansas City, which is in the middle of the country, right?
Right, yeah.
There's no big river running near it. I mean, there's water there.
Well, there's water there, yeah, okay.
But I went there, and I discovered all these fountains. It has more fountains in that city than any other city in the world.
Yep, very true.
And you would have never thought that,
Yep.
you know?
So Willard Scott came to your town. Did you meet him?
No. It was during a festival we used to have here called Falls Fest.
Okay.
And so he came and dedicated the falls during Falls Fest. We actually have a little bitty falls on the Wichita River.
Okay.
But that was founded by the Indians, and they named it Wichita.
Wichita, I see.
So we have a little statue there that commemorates where the original falls were, which are probably about 2 feet tall.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a good start. You got to have something. At least you weren't lying. That's good. Good deal. Well, thanks for that insight and a little bit about Wichita Falls. We love our listeners out there, and we love you for calling. So how can we help today?
Well, I have been collecting lighthouses. I started several years ago. My husband and I used to travel to different conventions that he was involved in, and every time we would go somewhere close to a coast, we would go and visit the lighthouses
Nice.
there.
Oh, that's great.
So there are no lighthouses in Wichita Falls, right?
No, because we're not on the coast. There
Got
are
it.
some
Yep.
down on the Gulf Coast, but no,
Got it.
not in Wichita Falls. No.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Good deal. So what do you? So the lighthouse you collect are kind of the manufactured, either porcelain or resin lighthouse, and are they only of lighthouses you've been to?
No, they're not all the ones I've been to. I've been to several of them, but some of them I just liked. They were so pretty. I thought, I really liked that particular style, and so these are Lefton, Lefton
Right.
lighthouses.
Sure. Yep.
And I have 9 of them.
Wow.
They're really nice. All of them are in a box except one. Something happened to one of my lighthouses. We moved about 3 years ago. We downsized our house, and I decided I didn't want to do the lighthouse motif anymore. And I tried to get rid of my lighthouses by selling them on Craigslist or Facebook. Well, nobody in North Texas wants lighthouses.
Got it. Good point. Good point. And it costs a lot to ship them. Yeah, that's the other challenge.
Right.
So if you're going to those cities.
Now, these lighthouses can be like 8 or 10 inches tall, right? Some of them can be rather large.
Right.
And do they have lights in them, obviously, because they're not just figural lighthouses, but they actually have a light. And are they musical as well?
No.
Okay.
Just have the little, the light that you turn on and off.
Okay, because some of the left and white lighthouses are musical.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Lefton was originally a Japanese company that made like bird figurines and cups and saucers, and they were kind of playing off the collectible, like the Hummel collectible market. And so Lefton originally seemed to be just like one step ahead of Occupy Japan. And it made similar type of things as the Occupy Japan souvenirs. So if you went to any souvenir shop around the world, chances are they would have something in China made by Lefton, and it was relatively inexpensive. Now, Lefton got into the higher end. When I say higher end, a little higher end collectibles market, and they begin to do different things like lighthouses. And so now you can buy 100 different styles of lighthouses and begin your collection, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to get hooked. They want you to not only go to one lighthouse and buy a copy of that lighthouse, then they've got like they caught you, and you just begin to like lighthouses, and then people give them to you as gifts, and you collect them, and you see how many you can amass, which is all fun and good until it's time to sell them. time to get out from under them.
So these are obviously sometimes they call them limited editions, but usually they're limited to as many as they can make and sell. So the market for them, as you know, as we get a bit more mature, I won't say older, and our decor changes, or we downsize, go to a smaller home, or we lose interest in our collectibles, we find that the market is probably not as large as it was when we got into it. And not only that, but these lighthouses are available from a lot of other people. People pass away and the estates come up. People decide they don't want to keep their collections anymore. So the market for these and the demand for these is probably lower than the supply. And when that happens, that means they're going to be worth less than you paid for them in a lot of cases. Now, I don't know for sure what you paid for them, but that's probably the way things are going.
I would imagine you paid probably anywhere from $45 to $60 for most of these. Does that sound right?
Yeah. That's correct.
And and they're beautiful. I love them. I would love to retire in a lighthouse somewhere. Nancy would say, "Well, we'll see you. Have fun."
If there's one in the North Sea, Brian, you should go to.
That's good. But lighthouses are just spectacular. And again, lighthouses aren't what they used to be, right, Sharon?
Right.
They're more attractive than anything else. They don't really do much anymore. Although when I sail into Sandy Hook Bay, I still line up a couple of lighthouses on in Atlantic Highlands there to be able to get it straight in without getting into trouble.
Well, here's the deal.
What's that? Go ahead, Sharon. Go ahead.
I was going to say one of my favorite ones is the Cape Hatteras, North Carolina lighthouse.
Yep.
Which we actually visited, and they had to move that particular lighthouse because the sea was encroaching on the lighthouse, so they moved it several hundred feet.
Is that the one that has the black and white swirl on it, stripe like a barbershop pole?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And the one at Sandy Hook Light, not at Atlantic Highlands, used to be right on the point. Now it's inland, probably 3 miles. Because of just a barrier island is just that. It's movable. It's made of sand. That's why the Hatteras Lighthouse end up getting a little too close to the ocean, and that's why the Sandy Hook license is a little too close to the beach, or not close enough to the ocean. So if you followed that lighthouse in on an old chart and you thought you were just coming around the bend, you'd end up on the beach somewhere. So it all changes.
Now here's the problem, Sharon, is the fact that, and Brian hit it on the head, is that on the used market, or what we call the secondary market, after someone has bought one retail and then has had it for a while and then tries to sell it, it is absolutely saturated, and people don't go there or want to go there and pay a lot of money for these. So items that you paid $45, $55 for, you can probably get 10 to 15% of what you purchased on it.
Is that what you're seeing on sites like eBay and the other online sites?
Well, for example, now on eBay, they're going to have asking prices. So you've got to say, well, that's not going to work. I need to know what they've actually sold for. So I went on one of my databases where it's an auction site, and I have 29 results of these lighthouses. And for the most part, I would say the majority of them, they describe it, have a picture of it, and then they say lot passed. Now, what that means, lot passed means they didn't get a bid on it, or it didn't bring a minimum amount. And usually when you have items that are under $50, you don't put a minimum amount on it. So lot past means they probably couldn't get a bid. Now I go to a couple of others and I see things that have sold here for as little as $5 and $6. And the most I found for one actually was for a pair of them, a pair of Lefton, North Carolina lighthouses, and it was sold in 2005 for $50. So that means $25 a piece. But that was in 2005, and actually the market in 2005 was stronger than it is now.
Oh,
So I see other here where they group them up. So they'll have 4 of them, and they'll sell. There were 4 of them, and they sold for $5 for the whole lot of of 4.
No kidding. Really?
So.
Gee, could you give us any more bad news, Leon? Let's cheer up Wichita Falls here.
But see, you know this because you tried and you saw how difficult it was.
Right, right.
Now, the nice thing is, yes, you have the boxes, but I want to let you in on a secret that probably 90% of all the other people that bought lighthouses still have the boxes too.
Really?
And people have bought these with the idea that eventually they mass enough of them and they're tired of them, they'll sell them and make money. You've got to wait 50 or 100 years before you can do that.
Right.
And so the point was these, even though they're sold as collectibles, they should have been sold as consumables. In other words, they should have been sold because you liked it, you had a nice experience there, you should have taken it out of the box, you should have thrown the box away, and you should have used it. You should have had it as decoration and turned that light on all the time. That's
I
what you.
did.
Well, then you've got your use out of it, and then it's well worth the money. It's just you're not going to get much now, the return.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's unfortunate, but that's life.
Right, right. Yeah, well, when I found out that when I put them on eBay and I had very little response, it was going to cost more to ship it than I was going to make.
Exactly. Nope, you're right.
Absolutely right.
Good deal. Well, I'm so sorry. But it sounds like they're fun. It sounds like you enjoyed them. You got some great experiences from them, and you can start a new collecting interest somewhere down the line. or buy another garage for them and just keep them forever.
Or put them in the falls.
I don't want to just throw them away and put them in the
No.
Got it.
If you have a little tiny falls, you could line them up all along the waterfalls.
There you go.
And you can have a light. It could be Lighthouse Point. You just call it Lighthouse Point in Wichita Falls, and Sharon can manage the whole thing there. All right, you be
Thanks,
you
Sharon.
be well, Sharon. Thanks so much. You take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah,
You bet.
bye-bye.
Thanks. So long.